This is not the set of a movie. Prep news. Hey, excited, really excited, ecstatic, elated, happy. Just trying to bring some different insights and exposure to this thing we love called high school athletics of all forms. These guys that see on the panel today, they're football coaches by their first name, but they are men who have given themselves to other high school sports as well. Football is just the thing that they give all of themselves to. And, we're going to start at the bottom from left to right because that's how you read for all the smart people. Go ahead, introduce yourself, man. I ain't going to hold y'all back today.
How you doing? I'm Jonathan Landry. I'm the offensive line coach, special teams coordinator at Marksville High.
Jake, JJ.
I'm Coach Jones.
Look, who that, Bill? Hey, Bill.
How's it going? I'm Coach Bill Hawkins. I'm the defensive coordinator and defensive back coach at South Terrebonne High School.
How y'all doing? I'm Stanley Smith. I'm the defensive coordinator at County Christian School in Natchez, Mississippi.
And I'm Scott Pellegrin. I'm the defensive coordinator, linebackers coach at East Ascension High School.
Hey, I'm finna be really petty right now. I'm gonna have to call Coach Lee and tell him what distinction you just put on the football program. Like you sounded really, really defensively smart. Just now, say that again.
What I'm the defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, East Ascension High School.
Yeah, boy, that's some distinction there, boy, Scott. How you doing, Scott?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here. Talking to you. Always a good time talking to Hobart.
Oh man, I appreciate that, bro. I really do appreciate that. I want to thank you guys too, man. Inaugural panel for something that I hope to be around for a while. Called the Assistant Speak. This is a great opportunity, I think, for assistant coaches like most of you guys have been long-term assistants, wanting to become head coaches. I don't think anyone becomes a coach to stay an assistant for the entirety of their coaching lives. So a great opportunity, man. I've been thinking, I've been trying to put this show together for over a month in my head, a couple of weeks in actuality, and how this process would go. And it doesn't matter where my thoughts went, it always came back to just giving you guys the opportunity to be vocal. And I kind of wanted a mixed panel to where it would be, offensive guys and defensive guys. But me and Joe gonna have to handle this offensive battle all on our own. We're gonna be like Patty LaBelle and Michael McDonald.
There's an answer for
I
everything.
think it's safe to say no points are going to be given up during the duration of this interview. No, because there's no offensive coach to have the marker last. So,
all right, so let's start off then by giving the offense some points. See, water always makes its own direction, and it always seeks its own level. For you smart people out there, I'm not that smart. I just know one or two things. So, a few years ago, the Seattle Seahawks were in the red zone in the Super Bowl to win the Super Bowl. Joe, I'm going to play Pete Carroll. You play the offensive line coach. Marshawn Lynch on the dive. What are you running?
Power. Got to be. No other choice. Either power, some type of man scheme, something. Offense is all about getting your best players the ball in the best position to be successful, and however that might be. And that, to me, power is mama. You got to be able to run power to be able to do anything. So that's day one. So give him the ball on power, let him go score, hoist the trophy.
I'm saying power too. Who's stopping Marshawn Lynch? Scott.
Hey, if I had the Patriots, maybe I could do that. I'm not sure if
No. That was Skittles. Marshawn was different.
No, that's when Marshawn was that was peak Marshawn Lynch right there.
Yeah. I have nightmares about that play still. 4 downs, 4 passes.
That's the best player on your team. Give him the ball. Go win.
I'm kind of partial to Malcolm Butler. He was a college teammate of mine in JUCO, so I'm a little bit partial to him and the play he made. He made a heck of a play on great reads. Some they said they practiced and worked on all week. So I mean, defense stepped up, made a play.
Can I mute people on the show today? Coach, you trying to get a safety on me?
Hey.
All I remember is nobody could pronounce Hines Community College the next day on all the radio shows.
Nope.
Wow, that's tough. So, let's stay in the trenches, man. I want to go to Stanley Smith. You're in the trenches. They're in a 2x2. 2x2. Motion into a 3x1. Strong right. And they're running let's say for Pete's sake
I couldn't hear you. I heard doubles, motion to trip. That's all I heard.
All right, yeah. So you're in a good place. So 223 flood.
Mm-hmm.
What's your defensive schematics?
You drifted off again. You said 223 flood?
Yeah. What are you doing defensively?
Well, in trips we have multiple checks and trips. One of my main trips, checks play cover 2 to the trips. Playing hard corner. Have my Sam kind of sitting head up in a curl flat area, and then I have my mic dropping off 3, and I have my safeties. I have my free safety to the strong side. He'll weave over to midpoint the trips and play over the top. Play fade ball, corner ball. Have my free safety read the middle of the field from 3-1 backside, helping out that mic, where we kind of lob at the mic up the then backside. Kind of eyes backside. And just trying to take away the quick game. He take away the quick game, make him go to the second read. So hopefully our pass rush can get there by then,
Okay. Bill, you want to give us a different thought process on that?
Absolutely. I mean, if I had to call it with my guys, I'd probably do something similar to Coach Smith. We'd probably play something where we'd play with a hard corner out there, so that way we have someone sitting in the flat, leveraging the flat on the flood. But when I was at Destrehan, we played strictly cover 3, cover 1. So out of cover 3, typically your curl flat defender, they have to expand their zone out with that intermediate route, and we want to take away the most dangerous routes first. We want to take away the deep to the intermediate, and then we'll rally up to the shallow. And we had some guys did an excellent job of doing that. We saw a lot of flood, and we had a couple different ways we could play it. We even played like a cloud 3 where we rotated the safeties and still had that hard corner out there in the flat, so that way we could just leverage them out there in the flat. That's one of my favorite ways to do it, so that way you have a guy sitting there and they can't out leverage you where you're already outside waiting on it, and you're not having to chase inside out for any of those intermediate or flat routes. So I always teach my guys we don't want to take the bait. The bait is that shallow route that everyone wants to come flying up to, that 2 or 3 yard route, and then they leave that hole shot or the window open behind them. So we always want to cover deep to short in that. So that way we can protect ourselves deep, and we'll rally up and make the play short.
Okay, stay in goal line. Stay in goal line. Stay in goal line. Coach Joe Nate, you're in a double tight goal line situation. Delayed dive.
What you got?
What are you looking for from the defense to see what kind of changes and adaptations you need to make?
If you're talking goal line, I mean, you can see pretty much anything. Teams will, you got a tight end, they might play an inside shade and then they might walk somebody up. That's in particular when we have a tight end, because, for most of my career, we've been 20 personnel with a fullback and a tailback out of the spread. But we've just kind of started incorporating tight ends into the game. And I find that the biggest thing that really kind of gives us trouble are 4 eyes. Inside shade of the tackle and inside shade of the tight end with a walk up outside. Just kind of gives you a little bit of issue in terms of, because I've always been a gap scheme guy, in terms of what are you going to do with that down lineman. So it kind of throws your number game off a little bit. So around the goal line, like I said, I've seen everything from a 6-2 to a team that played a 5-man box in the goal line. And it's just pretty much, are we talking even front, odd front? Nothing really, defensive line especially is just really kind of about just kind of playing your role, understanding, especially in a gap scheme, do you have somebody in your inside gap? Do you have somebody on you? If not, you're going down. I mean, it's very simple stuff. So really, that's kind of what we're looking at is just defensive alignment. How many players are playing off the ball? Can we combo? Can we, it's just that communication. And I give the kids kind of the freedom to be able to, a guy's kind of in limbo to be able to say, hey, this is what I see on the field. I'm making this. So I kind of find when you give kids that ownership of that to be able to work it out on their own, that kind of gives them that autonomy, and that's what kind of makes them kind of go. That whenever they can figure it out, and it's not quite so rigid, like do this, just this is what we do in this situation. Figure it out from there. So that's just kind of what we're looking for is just communication down on the goal line about what they're in, and 5 is 1, 5 offensive linemen working as 1. You include the fullback or tight end in that as well. So I don't know.
Josh Jones, what you see from the other side of that perspective? In that double tight goal line set, it's absolutely going to be a run, Josh Jones.
Absolutely. One of the things, and listen, go ahead, Coach. You good?
Coach Jay.
No, my bad. You go ahead. But I'm gonna say me personally, with them, I'm gonna hope they gonna toss me personally. But if they trying to get down here now, I like to kind of peach those inside guys. Just bounce it outside and let the guy into their play. I hate down here because it's quick action, especially if you got a good team that know how to block inside man, working to their backer. So I'm really one of those guys that like to pinch, bounce to the outside.
Coach Pell.
So as far as before I kind of get to the formation, I want to piggyback on something Joe said. Something I've learned to do the last few years, which I think really helps just no matter what you're running or situation you're in, is giving kids that autonomy to kind of make some adjustments on the field themselves within the scheme you taught them. Because I feel like that's the best way they learn, because they got to go out there and do it. And cool thing about the summertime is they're able to do some of those things when doing 7-on-7s and all, and then you could talk to them after about what they saw and why they made that particular adjustment. Could they have made it differently or what have you? We do that a lot with certain coverages. We give them autonomy to kind of check out of it depending on what the splits of the receivers are and things like that. So I think that's a really good strategy as far as getting the kids kind of trained up on thinking like you. But as far as on the goal line, with Coach Jones too, I'm kind of there will be times where if it's 1 yard to go, 2 yards to go, something where it's going to be just a car crash inside, we'll just pinch fire and man it up. And because we have the luxury at EA too, we have some big cats, so we have some big guys. So when we got 250 to 300 pinching them inside gaps, Oftentimes you're going to get the achieved goal of some of those things bouncing, but really anything with tight ends. I mean, if we see double tight anything, you're probably gonna get a shade 5 on one side, shade 5-9, and then probably 3 and a 6 on the backside. That's just like a first day kind of rule, but there's other stuff we could do out of it. We'll get in head up techniques and put a little movement up there, but typically a base rule might be a shade 5 one side, 3-6 backside, and we'll play from there.
Well, what are you telling your guys in relation to the A gap and controlling the A gap in that play situation? How do you get them to understand that the guy is definitely trying to go through the A gap because it's the quickest gap to get to the touchdown?
So we don't really tell him anything different as far as playing his gap. He's just got to follow his rules on the release of whatever lineman he's lined up on. If he's in a shade, it's in relationship to the center's block. If he's a little wider in some people call it 2-eye or a 1, if he's on the guard, relationship to that block. But honestly, you got to trust your teaching all week long, and you got to trust the fact you taught him how to play the A gap from day one, not just in those situations. But I mean, like some of the guys been saying, there's all kinds of ways you could chop up gaps by slanting to them. I've seen guys line up in the A gaps and just shoot them right now.
We don't want to hear all kind of ways, Scott. We want to hear what you're telling your kids in practice.
Fire off the ball low. Get your hands on the center, and get your eyes up for the ball. That's what
Smith,
I'm
the double team just came. Smith, the double team just came in the B gap. Smith,
On the goal line?
yeah.
Man, you better make a pile. You better not give up any ground. You better fall down, create chaos, man. Don't give ground, man. If you got to, you got to sprawl team. If you just get big, don't give ground, man. That's the biggest thing on a double team. Especially on goal line. And in open field, you have different techniques to kind of split the double team. But we ain't worried about splitting double teams on the goal. It happens so fast, man. We want to follow it up, make the running back stop his feet and bounce, like Coach said. So hopefully to run it down, man.
I'll tell you this, Hope. In years past, this is before the advent of the RPOs, and we were a 50 cover 0. We played a bear front, and our 3 guys that we had in the interior were all like 150 pounds, like they were all like very little, and all we wanted them to do was to bear crawl and just wipe out offensive linemen. And when you would watch them do it, like talking about just submarining offensive linemen, like the double team would come because they never figured out, just go straight to the linebacker. The double team would come, and these little, I'm talking like 5'5", 140 pounds, just wiping out 200-300 pounders, just boom. So we talked about cutting on the goal line. I don't know how much y'all do that in 5A ball or anything like that, but that worked really well for us.
If you're playing Catholic High and you're the Spartans, we lived in that.
Yeah.
We cut the hell out of Catholic High on a goal line 2 years ago.
Yeah. Hey, Scott.
That was a signal, baby. Go get him.
Good Trenches has no respect of classification.
Nope.
Yes. And I tell you what, those guys took so much pride in it because they, like I said, they were 140 pounds, and they were mostly special teams kids that, they weren't going to get on the field otherwise. And we were just like, go out there and go make a pile. And, year after year, we'd have linebackers, 150 tackles, 140 tackles, 150. But those little guys right there would just eat up blocks. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Hey, since we only have one Northwest Louisiana guy and one Delta guy, one Mississippi Delta guy, we're gonna show a little love to the power offense first. Because we know all you down south and Gonzales, Louisiana guys, y'all only know how to cover the spread on defense. I'm just saying. Coach Bill, that ain't got nothing to do with you, Coach. That was a jab at Coach Pellegrin.
Oh, we see it all. We have teams, running air raid principles. We've seen a lot of Y cross stuff this summer, and then we're going to be playing teams that they're just straight downhill power counter all day till the cows come home. It's just nonstop. They're just trying to bully you all across the field. You got to line up, be able to play ball with them either way.
Hey, philosophy on teaching the trap, Coach Joe?
It's got to happen quick. That guard has to be downhill in a hurry. That center has to fill back, and that guard has. Whenever I say downhill, I mean he has to be into the line of scrimmage. It has to be. He has to play for that down lineman to squeeze, because a lot of times what you'll get is in an inexperienced guard. We actually just put back in quick trap, and my inexperienced offensive lineman, what they'll do is they'll be more flat, and when they're flat, whenever they're straight across the line, they're not getting a good angle, and it ends up being a log, which turns it into a disaster. So first thing, you got to be into the line of scrimmage. You have to be like 2 to 3 yards into the line of scrimmage, and then if he's up the field, if the down lineman that you're trapping is up the field, then you can readjust. But that's the big thing right there, is you have to be into the line of scrimmage. The second thing is on the play side. Those guys have to avoid that down lineman that's being trapped to be able to get the linebacker, because you're not going to be able to, unless you're in some type of heavy set, be able to combo that, depending on the front that you get. But you're not going to be able to combo that. So a lot of times you've got play side guard, play side tackle going straight to linebacker, and that's your second level players. Because it's not going to hit fast enough for you to be able to outrun that backside in, unless you're playing like a split back veer team. But for me, the big thing is the back has to hit it 1,000 miles an hour, and you have to be in the line of scrimmage, and you have to do a good job at the second level. The back kind of has to be able to cut off of what those second level players do.
Oh, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Give me the counter. The rules on the counter defensively.
So like counter trap, like GT counter, GH counter, all that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So typically, we know if we get counter, you have to be really sound with squeezing your down blocks, and we do what we call spill and kill. So if I'm the defensive, I'm the 5 tech, and I have that down block coming from that offensive tackle, I really got to just squeeze the mess out of him. I'm going to try to close that B gap with his body if I can to help keep him off the linebackers. Never want to go upfield. We never want to cross the heel line of the offensive line. We want to squeeze with the eyes inside. We see that first puller coming. We want to spill that first puller. Now, when we spill him, we don't ever really want to trade 1 for 1. We want to blow him up through his inside shoulder, work to rip, run our feet, and try to get back square. So that way we can still affect that play. We want that ball to bounce east-west. We don't want it hit it downhill, right? So we try to do our best to spill that first one if we can. I mean, sometimes it's a linebacker's got to come downhill, and he's got to spill that first side. And you get the overlap from the backside linebacker. Try to force that ball out to your overhangs, and then your safety running down in the alley. I mean, you got to play. You got to make sure you don't go upfield. You try to go upfield. You try to go make a play. You try to just do something. Anything we've played teams where we just couldn't stop counter all night because kids just kept running upfield. It's like, you can't do that. You do that, you're dead. You do that, they're going to be able to hit it all night on you. But you get them to really work squeezing that down block, spilling, ripping upfield, so that way you can make that ball bubble, make that ball bounce. That's when you have a better chance. If I let the offense only get 1 or 2 yards every single time they run counter, I'm happy with that, because we're sitting there 4th and 6 then, and we're heading off the field. The offense gets their chance to come back on the field.
And speaking generally as a defensive coach, is getting kids to understand just what he's saying. Like, you could make the play and affect the play by not even coming near the tackle, just by doing your one job out of the 11 guys. But like I said, some guys will want to get in playmaker mode, and they'll end up out of position. It's like, well, that's not your job, So that's a big qualification for defensive football, man. You can't be selfish out there.
You have to be the best at doing your job.
That's right. You got to squeeze. You better squeeze the hell out of it. Period.
Yeah. I'll tell you, our counter to whenever teams start squeezing us like that on GH counter is to actually log that in and then wrap the H around. And the kids have to see that on the fly. Like a lot of times, so I'm sure like y'all, we have huddle sideline, and we'll talk about that, and we'll be like, okay, look. But, a lot of times they'll make that call on their own. Like, okay, this dude squeezed all the way down into B gap, or this dude squeezed almost into A. So we just logged it, and then we've got H out there on that safety or that flat area defender. So again, that's the we love just trapping and running and be all day, but when we have to bounce it now in 2016, when we were really good and we had all these athletes and we were able to just, when we would bounce it to the edge, we were gone, but that's not an every year thing. So that what they're saying is absolutely true, that from my perspective, like that completely, like it neutralizes counter.
Now you got to get back +1 on it too, because I mean they're taking their offensive line or the tight end and they're adding numbers to the other side of the ball. You got to get back +1 with your guys too. And so I know some people they'll work the center across space, but I know a lot of the times we just teach our linebackers to read it, so we know we're gonna get that back block from the tackle coming down. So we have to make sure we're reading his angle coming at us. If he's coming low at us, we need to work over the top of him so that way we can get back +1. But if he's setting up high on us, we got to be able to head fake and work back underneath so that way we can get numbers back to the point of attack instead of being outnumbered in the gap scheme plays.
I was going to be sarcastic, which I'm quite known for. Thank you guys.
No, not you.
Okay, Pellegrin. I want to thank you guys for becoming a little bit more comfortable with each other. As soon as y'all get more comfortable, this is going to work out great. I'm telling you.
I mean, that's usually defensive coaches, man. They're the most comfortable guys on the.
Josh, we're gonna have a talk later, Josh.
Hey, nothing's ever as bad as it seems on defense. It's all good.
I don't know that. So we talking about squeezing down, right, Smith? We talking about squeezing down, right? Oh no, Coach said take the offensive lineman, use his body to fill the gap.
Right. So we squeezing.
How much? Because this is probably an essence of defense. If I'm not that smart, but I look to you guys to fill in all the X's and O's. So when I look at this situation in this scenario of squeezing down, how much intensity do you guys put into upper body strength and teaching how to use the upper body to control the line of scrimmage, Coach Smith?
I mean, hands are everything at D-line. If you don't have hands, you can't play, man. I mean, you have to be violent and strike with your hands, man. I'm a D-line coach. I coach D-line linebackers. I'm a front seven guy. I teach the sternum bicep press. You want the inside hand, kind of that power hand, on the sternum, and the outside hand kind of be on that bicep. You never want to kind of get hit up. Can squeeze. You know what I mean? Like Coach said, you never want to get 1-for-1. You always want to work a half. The process he's squeezing. He got his eyes inside. Staying square, trying to work, get his eyes inside, getting ready for the puller. Like Coach said, we never want to go up 1-for-1. We always want to spill, and take away the inside half of that guy, and run your feet and be violent, And I've also a technique where we kind of shoot hands, and that's a higher level, shoot hands to the inside half of that puller, where you can stay square, play inside, and be able to come back out, But it's take a special kind of guy that does that, But I'm a big believer in squeezing and spilling, let the athlete run it down. You have to overhang outside, couple three, it's going to bounce out to them. And your wheel backer just running to the weak side. You should be able to get downhill. That defense end should help out, with that tackle squeezing where that backer doesn't have a free range to climb up to the next level, But hands are everything, man. You have to be violent, And also I teach a key drill up front, where their eyes, first of all, have to be
crucial.
Their eyes and hands have to be tied together, they have to be connected. And you can teach that and be disciplined with that, and everything else falls in place.
Going off of that, I know you said something about having the hands, the upper body strength, because you don't have the feet to move with it. If you don't have that lower leg drive, the power in your hips, I mean, you can have all the upper body strength you want. You're not really going to be able to move a guy and truly control a guy unless you got the power coming out of your hips. One thing to go off of that now, you're starting to see in the college game is where teams know that they're about to, hey, this guy's going to spill. They'll do what they call a dent technique, where you'll see like even smaller guys, like some of the bigger schools, they'll charge and throw like an old school forearm flipper on them and then convert that to hands.
Yeah.
So that way it's more of a box technique instead of a spill technique. But they're going to try to blow up and stop it right there to prevent the kick, to prevent the log, and just try to make it bounce from that point. Not let any pullers get over there. Essentially make a pile right there.
Yeah.
Dude, like Coach is saying, that's a little bit higher level technique, but
like
you do
see box technique.
I will tell you this, Scott. In years past, when we've done this, teams have kind of accused us of cutting them. And it's like, well, we're not cutting your puller. We're just denting your puller. So basically what we're doing, is we just anchor down. We just anchor down and we're just here. It's not our fault that you're top heavy and you just run and you're high. And we just, when we anchor down, we hit your lower half. So that's a very advanced technique. And I'll tell you this. So when you do that, whenever you dent that dude, a lot of times, you start talking about GT counter, you start talking about things like that. The second guy coming through, and a lot of times, sometimes they'll lead like a fullback or they'll lead like a whatever. You start talking about double wing teams. You cut one of them, and then it's just a pile of people that just fall. So, and I use the word cut, okay? So, but we're talking about just dent, just anchor down and just dent them down. And, when you start talking about these power offenses, that really causes some problems. That and the wrong arm. These gaps.
And I saw a clinic talk on the dent technique a couple of years back. Hell, it might have been Bill that shared it with me, or maybe I shared it with him, but I think it was Don Brown, maybe. But anyway, he was at one of these big schools, and he was saying how we're saying where you kind of slam the door with the old school forearm. He was talking about how wrong arming he felt like it wasted his guy, so he would have his guys take it on more like a base block, where he would attack the inside, shoot hands, and then once it bounced, get rid of the block like it's a base and go get pursuit. Which like y'all saying, that's super high level. That's almost that's difficult to get right.
Miami Hurricanes trap.
Right there, Coach. Right. That's it right there, Coach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you got some players that could get that done, that's huge.
Cool.
If you have a kid that's coming off the edge like a Scud missile, that pull's not going to want to pull anymore.
Hey, we talking about high school athletics or college athletics?
High school.
That's why I just gave some techniques, you know what I mean? I've kind of picked up several ways, and it's really based on the level, because I'm quite sure y'all guys have some Power 5 guys that's able to do that, But the next might have just a great high school player, that, you know what I mean? So you have to be able to be versatile, what you got coming through the door. You know what I mean? So it's just being able to, feel the room, you know what I mean?
And as far as wrong arming goes, man, I like wrong arming. I think you don't have to necessarily waste yourself by wrong arming. I think Hawkins said it best. You can get underneath, rip through, and go get back. You can go get back part of the play by just hustling, moving your feet, and understanding what you're supposed to do on that.
Bro, that don't even sound right. You saying wrong arming.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's what's called.
Hey, Hobart, next time you come to the office, bro, I'm gonna teach you exactly what I'm talking about.
Not me. I don't think football.
I hate it. Don't teach anybody else that.
Not me.
Don't teach anybody else how to do that.
Look.
I hate when teams do that too.
I'm gonna bring somebody with me for you to demonstrate on. How about that?
I'll tell you what. I'll go easy on you. I'll bring one of the players in, and I'll let them show you.
No, hell no. That's a double hell.
You learn things when you come to EA, man. You learn things when you come to EA.
Look. The more I come to EA, I learn that I'm the ops.
Why you show up in Zachary gear?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Hey, listen, if you come to Marksville, I got you, man. You don't have to show up in funky red. I promise. I got you. I got you a hat. I got you a hoodie. I got you everything. You good to
what are y'all doing to me here?
Don't show up in funky red.
I promise you, because if you and Joseph Greenhouse, I'm coming to Marksville and Bucky Red. I'm on one. Right.
Hey, I'm gonna let Joseph get you then.
Man, I can't believe.
Hey, don't play with Joseph.
Man, nobody's scared of Joseph. Nobody's scared of Joseph. Scott.
What's up, man?
Scott, I want to thank you, Scott. I really want to thank you. You did something right by me for the first time in a really long time. Thank you for introducing me to Bill Hawk.
Hey, that's the first time someone's ever thanked me for doing that too.
Bruh, you're hard got to be a friend with, Scott. You just bruh.
No, hey, no, don't let that southern drawl and all that stuff fool you. Now I shared an office with this dude for a couple of years. He throws daggers too now.
He ain't throw none like you throw them though. Man, my feelings just not telling everybody that on a live video. Thank you, Coach Brew, for the nice Zachary shirt.
Hey, no, that was off the bench gear. You know what that was.
Man, I don't care. My feelings hurt now. I don't even know if
Give me your address. We ain't even gonna chance this. We're gonna make sure that you got the nice new Jordan pullover.
Yeah.
I said I got a
Make sure.
I said I got a visor for you next time you come.
Man, I ain't heard nothing from Booker T. Washington.
Cool.
I'm just gonna tell the truth. I'm
look,
not
we
to call
got
Coach Coop. Oh, Scott, will you tell him what I think about hats? Bald people don't wear hats, bro.
You don't like
Bald
tell
people
Coach
don't wear hats.
I'm gonna tell Coach Lee you said that.
You got my hair.
I don't care.
Got my hair.
Well,
That's
you know
why.
I ain't say that about him. I said that about me. You messy, Scott. Coach Hawk, you used to be an offensive guy, I heard? Yeah, that's what I just heard.
No, I've never coached offense.
Yeah.
Only coach defense.
You were supposed to fake that one, Coach.
Hey, I can't be on that side of the ball. You know, those guys, they think they're all high and mighty. They think they're God's gift to football. You know,
Power run game. Oh no, Coach Josh. Coach Josh, see these tears? These tears are because Booker T. Washington didn't show me no love just now. See them tears? Real tears. I'm on live crying.
Whatever you want, send it. I got you.
Oh no, it's too late now. My feelings hurt. I'm going to call Coach Soup on you after the show tonight. Stanley, you're a guy that knows offense. Power. Come on, go against Coach Stanley. Can you switch the deep offense for me real quick?
Let's go. I'll try my best. What's up, man? Talk to me.
You the offense. Come on, Bill. And then look, 5A versus 1A. I mean 5A versus 4A.
Division One. We're Division One now.
We're 5A now. We moved up this year, man.
I can't stand Scott.
What I said? I was just gonna say the classifications.
No.
You want to say something controversial?
I screwed that all up, Scott. That was on me. So look, Stanley and Bill go first.
Okay.
Then Josh versus Scott. Then Joe versus Stanley. Joe, you on offense. Stanley, you on defense.
Gotcha.
Come on, in the power game.
All right, so I'm running power right now.
Yes, sir.
Out of what formation? Doesn't matter.
Man, that I can't give you that. If you,
All right, well, I'm a big 20 personnel guy. I like 20 personnel. You know, I'm that snip guy. Just say he'll be 2 yard split. You know, two yards behind the guard. We're running power strong. So I have my twins. But it'd be like a tray formation. Getting the power to the strong side. So I have my back setting opposite. So all he had to do was just slide and dive, get downhill. First thing, offensive lineman, you know, my play side tackle, he has to go block the backside backer. He has to block down and have a good.
Hey, you're not giving the answers to the test away. That's Bill's job.
I thought you was talking scheme. I didn't know.
No. I want you to call the play.
Okay, I'm running 20 person out of trips formation with an H back.
Okay, Bill.
How we defending it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, if I know power is coming, then I'm sending one of my linebackers to plug, so that way one of those that down block's not coming. He's not coming to the linebacker. We're going to force the issue now. We're going to rotate a safety down into the box, so that way we still keep our +1 to the play side to the ball. That way we still have our guys sound and coverage there as well. We're going to if you're bringing numbers in the box, we're bringing numbers in the box. We're going to try to blow you up, not let you get up to us.
All right. Who next? Who on offense now? Josh?
Dang.
Josh, offense.
Man,
help me out. Help me out. Everybody got eight. Help me out.
I'm gonna give it to you, man. So me personally, I like it. We're gonna do speed option.
Come on, give us the setup.
For me, a Scott.
No, you ain't giving him all the specifics he need to know to set his defense up. We don't know if you're going speed option right, speed option left. What are the linemen doing?
We're going to the weak side, of course. Weak side.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive end uncovered. We're going to the weak side of the field.
Now, is the weak side the short side of the field? Are we calling the weak side the short side of the field, or is the weak side the large land mass? So that means you would have to have a strong left.
The left, the weak side of be right.
Okay. Scott, you got enough qualified information?
What's the formation? You in trips? You running weak?
Yes.
That's what all the huh?
Trips. I said two back.
Oh, I got you.
I said two back. My bad.
All right. Are they? All right. So you got 2x1, 2 back. Are they split, or is one of them an H back?
Sniffer. You gotta have a coach. You gotta have a sniffer.
I got you. All right. So we don't see a ton of speed option. However, the way I would do it would be so I'd probably be in cover 3.
You can phone a friend.
Oh, I don't
you can phone a friend.
I'm good.
I help, bro.
So
you call your chief commander in chief.
No. So we play 4-2. We're 4-2. So I'd probably get in cover 3. All right, and we'll probably we rotate the safety down weak. We play with our weak side defensive end. It depends on how you block it. If you try to reach everybody, to me that's easier because that'll bring everybody to the party. If you block everybody away from the speed op, you'll force that D in to squeeze it down and have to chase it inside out. So my quarterback players playing inside out. My safety's rolling down weak, and my Mike is gap exchanging to give me the third body. So I got 3-on-2 on the outside. But that's tough because that requires my D line. My D line better have good feet because if we're getting zone blocking the other way, they better be able to gap exchange, and my Mike better be able to press his gap but still add on to the backside once the ball commits. That's what we teach him to do. So if you get any kind of zone block or anything like that, we tell them backers press. If the ball declares opposite, or you get the gap exchange up front, you can go add on and help with the ball. So depending on how you block it, I would get 3-on-2 that way, the best we could.
Good stuff. Okay, Joe, you had a good. You had about 4 or 5 minutes, Joe, to come up with the best offensive schematic play out of the power. You're an offensive line guy. This should be your forte.
See, to me, yes, you have power, you have counter, you have all this gap scheme stuff, but you have to be able to protect it. Throughout my career, like we've gotten killed by just the fall-in players. The fall-in players killing us. And we've become a really big RPO team this year. And I find that being able to run power, and then they rotate down to a 1 high, and then you have snag as the RPO, or you have you'll do something out of trips where you run like a power read, and then you have stick as the RPO. Like there's so much that you can do to be able to protect it. But to me, like whenever we're talking about it, when teams start to kind of crowd you up, whenever they start to wrong arm, whenever they start to kind of try and confuse you in the box, power read to me is perfect. Whether you do it out of a stack with the sniffer and you do it with a back, or whether you do it with the sniffer and then you have the back opposite and you run it more diagonal. Whichever way, power read to me is the answer. Power read and RPO is the answer. So my favorite one obviously is going to be power, and then it's going to be to have the snag to protect it from that overhang just continuing to fall.
What's your formation? What's your formation?
Give us the play then.
So it would be 20 personnel. It'd be 20 personnel. Sniffer to the right. Yeah, sniffer to the right. You'll have doubles to the right, and you'll have a single receiver to the left. You have tailback to the left. So you're basically running power, what we would call slant right. So you're basically running power, and then you have the snag to protect from the overhang falling in.
Right. So you got, is it 3x1, 2x2, 3x1?
So it'd be 20 personnel, and then you have 2x1.
2x1. Okay. Well,
2 to the sniffer.
well, I'm in 20 personnel. Again, I'm a big cover 3 guy, like you said. That's pretty much what you got to do to kind of get the number right in the box. But what I kind of do different from a lot, my weak safety is my adjuster. He always goes to the multiple receiver side, and I Sam to the sniffer side. And what I do is, of course, when he's backside, of course he's the cutback player, so he doesn't play fast in order to kind of take away that window, backside. So he doesn't have to take a play away from the ball, especially if the sniffer's away. You know what I mean? So that's why I put my safety backside, so he can be patient to take away those reads, those RPOs. At the same time, he's responsible for cutback, so he can fall in late. You know what I mean? So he's in the box.
Which to me, that accomplishes what we're trying to get, because like, for us, the biggest problem we had was those overhangs being so aggressive, just coming into the box. Right. And this is before we got really good at RPOs. Was those overhangs just continuing to just fall into the box, and they're killing us, because essentially you've got 10 in the box.
Right.
So it's just kind of
right. But with the nuances of the game, with your offensive guys, you kind of got a cheat code. You know what I mean? You kind of have to do things a little different, especially with personnel. Especially I'm a big, personnel guy. You know what I mean? So it kind of lets me know a lot.
Oh, I love 21 personnel. Power out of 21 personnel has become my new favorite thing.
If you like that, I could get you in touch with some of the guys at Dutchtown. They run the hell out of power read and all the gap schemes because they didn't have a quarterback that could throw it last year. Now, don't tell nobody else in Gonzales I said this, because they go, that'll get me canceled out here for talking nice about Dutchtown. But two of my friends work there on offense, and they run the hell out of gap scheme, and they're good at it. I mean, power read, counter. I mean, every which way you could draw it up, they ran it because they could not throw the ball. Admittedly, couldn't throw the ball, and they beat us. And they ran the hell out of it. They were good at it, real good at it.
We've actually just installed pin and pull. We've installed quick trap. So, like, all that is just right up my alley.
Hey, my guy. How you doing? He's so quiet over there, Coach. I don't like quiet. Who I'm talking about, y'all? Everybody ought to know who I'm talking about. He's so quiet, man. Oh, Lord. We out of time, y'all. I'm sad.
Hey, it was rolling, man. Good show, man.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
Guys, I mean, what I about it, I think a lot of us got the same philosophy, man. And that makes me feel good. You come in the right ballpark when you're doing things. All of us are in different areas of the world. All of us different classifications. All of us kind of was chiming off of each other, man. That makes me feel good about what I'm doing, man.
Hey, can I ask you a huge favor, man? From all 5 of you guys.
Absolutely.
Y'all come back again Monday at 5. Next Monday.
Absolutely.
Next Monday. Because we ain't talk about the spread, y'all, and I need to get the whole part of you.
DBs.
Man, nobody care about no shitty DBs.
Oh,
You gotta show the back end some
It's
love,
all
man.
about the D ends, bro. It's all about the D ends.
We're gonna be back in a couple months. We're gonna be
I
back
think
in a couple months.
I think it'll be fun to talk about the nuances of each person's position. I think. I think that would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're thinking now, Scott. Yes. I like it.
Sims and creepers, please.
Don't tell nobody in Ascension Parish I'm doing
We're
that.
not talking about those yet, Coach. No one knows we're doing those yet. We've been doing it for 3 years.
You guys are so much fun, bro. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Joe.
Thank you.
Joe, Josh, Bill, Light Skin, and Scott. Hey, y'all, don't take because I call him Light Skin. Personally, that's my little bro. I love that little red dude.
Hey, man. We're a different type of society nowadays, man. So you got to be careful, you know.
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean nothing bad. I love Stanley Smith. He one of the best little brothers you can have to bully. I do that with him a lot, y'all. So don't y'all better not snitch on me either, because I be bullying him.
Hey, y'all see that spot on his head right there? I put it.
Stupid. Bill, thank you.
Appreciate it. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Me too, man. And you guys, I'm gonna say this with the hopes that I don't offend anyone. But I'll hire any one of you guys tomorrow based off our conversation today.
Man, it means a lot, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You guys, I don't know if y'all have some cue cards y'all was reading off of, Scott. But it sounds like y'all know a lot of stuff.
Hey,
I hate
just because you said that, I got a visor with your name on it at work.
I don't like Scott no more at all, y'all. Now, like, why would you
Got a
give
visor with your name on it, big dog?
Why would you give a bald head dude a visor?
I think it's a good look.
Gonna help him.
I'm telling you, all of my favorite coaches are visor guys. Think about it. They all offensive guys, but they visor guys. That's good stuff.
But I'm not a football coach.
Hey, I think you can pull it off.
I'm with Coach Jones, so I like the sun hat. I just jumped on that train this off season. I love it.
Man.
Don't use sunscreen no more. Love it.
Man,
I love you guys, man. You guys are so funny.
I want your way, man. Me and Coop working on it now.
If you send me a bucket hat, double J, I almost cursed. You send me an ugly bucket hat.
A little bit, it don't move.
Hey, y'all, this is me cursing. This is me cursing loudly.
I don't know your body. Nice.
That's that spot I put there.
Get your towel around your head. You know
Y'all dudes funny, man. Hey, y'all know we only get 52 minutes. We only get 52 minutes because one day I'm going to get some commercials and advertisements. And so you're only supposed to get 48 minutes per TV show. And I'm trying to practice as if I get the 48 minutes. But you guys always make me go over laughing at y'all. Either doing a regular interview or even in this scenario, like I be too busy laughing at y'all. I be using up all my talk time laughing. Next Monday, the assistants speak. Great inaugural show, I think. Tell all your coaching friends that we're going to do this when basketball season starts and baseball as well. And it's just an opportunity. It's just an opportunity, guys and ladies. Because I want to do this for volleyball too as well. It's just an opportunity on you to showcase your skill set. as a coach. Again, I said this at the start of the show, and I'm going to say it even bolder this time. No one gets into coaching to be an assistant their entire career. I don't give a damn how good at it you are. At least once, you want to be the guy in charge. This is your opportunity to show that you're IQ'd up, that you understand logistics, that you can do the little things as a head coach to make the big picture clear. Join us at the Assistants Speak in building sports in our region. This is bigger than one individual high school. One of these coaches said something here today that you guys didn't quite understand, but after they finished explaining it, you had a better perception of what they were talking about or what they were trying to point out into plain view. Joe, go. Final thoughts.
Hey, great, man. I enjoyed it. You guys, man, it's good to be around, people that just really understand the game, teach the game, are passionate about the game. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate y'all letting me be a part of it. I'm honored to be in such a good group.
Josh.
Hey, I just want to say, man, first year court with some good football, felt good. It gave me a good stand, and I'm still learning. Enjoyed every minute on here. Probably get in touch with a lot of you guys around going forward.
No doubt. Big Bill.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure. Enjoyed every second of it. It was great getting to hear different perspectives, even opposite side of the ball, same side of the ball. Just getting to talk ball. I mean, I heard a guy at a clinic this past off season say like this was his drug. Like this is how he gets off. And I mean, I got to echo that, man. I love this. I mean, I can't get enough of it. That's all I like to do is just talk ball. I mean, you could ask Scott. Me and him talk for years, just in January, February, just shooting ideas back and forth. This is always fun.
Oh yeah.
Stan.
Man, thanks for having me, man. I enjoyed it. Like you said, hearing different perspectives, getting on, looking at that bright spot, you know what I mean? I appreciate it. I mean, guys, like I said earlier, man, it was good to hear, different coaches from different areas kind of have the same perspective, you know what I mean? It kind of lets me know that things are kind of in tune, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's more than one way to skin a cat, but to hear a different viewpoint is huge, man. And
right.
The thing about it, you always want iron sharp as iron. You always want to hear things from different points, and I appreciate that, man.
Scotty, yo, Scotty.
Hey, it was great jumping on with y'all today, man. I love learning from different guys. I love the fact that everybody's kind of from a different area and we're able to learn from each other. Hobart, I appreciate you hosting this, and I'll leave you with this: play defense, not defenses.
Say that again. Play what?
Play defense, not defenses.
God be damned. He said something insightful. You've been listening, Coach Lee.
Hey,
Coach Lee, you listening, baby.
All you got to do is just tackle the man carrying the big brown thing. You're good. That's all. That's the game.
We make it a lot
simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say this, man, because I like Stanley knows this, man, but two of my favorite coaches in the football coaches in the state. One is, of course, your head coach, Coach Scott, and Coach Lee, and the other one is Jared Phillips at the E. Man, I love those guys because they're always talking about coaching their coaches. Like, they're very big on making sure that the philosophies and principles that they believe in, that their coaches understand it to the T. And if you ever go into EA coach's office, it's a big old whiteboard on the wall. And it's always a play up there. I don't think I've ever been in there and it isn't a play on the wall. Like, be that guy. Be that guy that teaches in teaching. Did that make sense? Be that guy. Be that guy. Hey, that's it for the assistant speak. And that's a double plural. And I know it's what is that word? Immoral grammar. But it sounded right to me. So that's why I went with it. Yeah, it sounded right. So, hey, thank you guys. Remember, get off the bench, get into the